Alright guys, you guys wanted to see what the big brake kit from PowerStop looks like, which a lot of people are saying it's essentially the same thing as the Brembo kit. It's just cheaper, right? I got a set of Boss 302 GT500 brake lines coming for it here. They're performance pack brake lines. They won't be here for a couple days, but the factory lines for now are going to be fine. There's some things I want to point out about this. This went completely sideways on me. Now I'm actually going to be able to pull the car out and drive it and stuff like that until the brake lines come in and I can finalize it. Let me show you what happened. We ordered a big brake kit for a 2012 Mustang GT. It's got 19-inch wheels. You need like 19s and above, it said, to put the big brake kit on. And it does fit. The problem is, here's a new one that I just put on. I put the other caliper on here before, and I could not get the banjo fitting to slide in. I couldn't figure out what was going on until I pulled it all back off the vehicle. I couldn't get the top bolt to slide in. This one slides in real nice and easy. I inspected this just fine. On the new one, when I went to go slide the extreme stop braking pads in, the new one had on the edge right here, as it goes through the caliper, it had a flare out that was about 3 inches long on the top of the brake pad of the metal where it wasn't quite cut right. And I had to go clean up the metal edge because it was cutting into the top of the slide. It would not let it slide in. But there are some differences here. You see how this pad actually just slides on the contact point that's machined. And where this banjo fitting goes in, it's a nice smooth machined surface here. What I found was the problem was, there's like all these weird issues. Like here, look at this. See how when they mate this at the factory, they torque everything down to spec. They make a mark on the bolt stating that they've been there. They've torqued it down. See how nice and polished that surface right there is? It's not all pitted up. There's nothing too crazy going on with it in the grand scheme of things. It's pretty polished overall. Let me show you the one that was defective and the threads started pulling out. It's this one here. If you look at that surface, see how pitted that is where the two pieces come together? Somebody sandblasted the living hell out of this thing. They really pitted up this metal. And when they went to machine, the threads all got screwed up with that pitting. There was so much paint and stuff down in here, it was ridiculous. Here, same thing. When you went to screw the banjo fitting in, look how pitted the surface is right here, where the crush washer goes. Another thing I noticed, where the brake pads go in, they painted the areas that were supposed to be polished so the brake pads can slide back and forth on this assembly, so all that would have to be scraped off. So I emailed them, they got back to me right away. They were super apologetic about it. They were like, oh my God, let's get you a set out right away. 1 day turnaround because I'm actually next to the city where they're from. No problem, but I want to make you guys aware of this. Look at the one. This is the one that's replacing that one there. Look at this one now. Nice and polished surface. Where the brake pads go. Polished all the way down. Whoever was responsible for this at the factory did a great job. An absolute fabulous job. The polished areas are nice and polished. Here as well. They didn't do too much and paint over them. When they built this assembly, they went through and torqued everything and marked it as they should, to indicate that they've been there. And a nice polished area right here, nice clean, where the actual bolt can go through there, no big deal. So this is going to be mounted right here on this side. Now here's the new one installed. You see how this is? That's how that's supposed to install. The other one, my guy was trying to put it in here. When he was doing it, I said, no, stop. I'm going to take all your stuff back apart because I noticed that this is bad as well. Not just the driver's side, but there's some imperfections here I don't like. Again, look at the pitting inside this hole where they were sandblasting. And I'll start off with gravity bleeding these until there's fluid coming out. So this one's got fluid coming out. That's how it should look. Same on the other side, I got it dripping. Crack my other bleeder here. Go over to the other side. Crack my bleeder here. Go back. Okay, it's got fluid coming out. All right, this one has fluid coming out now. It stopped. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to splash water over the top of this and wash it all off of there. Now, let me show you. If some of you know, some of the OGs know the trick that I'm using, why I'm using water and not brake clean. Try to keep it out of the brake pads, but if it gets there, it's fine. I'm going to blow shop air on it anyway. Look at that. All the brake fluid is gone. It's washed right off the paint. No nothing at all. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, and water gets underneath it and actually lifts it off the surface. So you can take it and put it on your hand like this, and then take water and splash it right on your hand, and it washes it off better than anything else does, and then wash with warm soapy water. But this, like if you get it on paint or something like that you spill, like an instructor back when I was going through tech school, he said we had a guy get brake fluid on the front of a red Corvette, and he took this, and look, a thing of water real quick when the tech did that, and he took water and splashed it right across the hood, and you could see on a glaze like a sheet of ice. The water went whoop, right up underneath the brake fluid and washed it all off the front of the hood, and then they were able to just warm soapy water rinse the residual that was left. It took it all, like 99.9% off of there. And some of you may ask, why am I being so critical of this caliper when I'm talking about the areas where it's machined and put together, like this area right here where it's all nice and pitted. Well, that's two mating surfaces that go together, and they have to seal for a reason, right? Can you imagine what's going to happen long term with that surface right there that's so pitted like that, where those two surfaces go together? If there's some kind of O-ring or something in there and it's that bad around that area, look around where the seals are for the piston here. That is terrible. The new ones are so smooth and nice. I don't want to take a chance and put this on a customer's vehicle if I see something like that, because this is an expensive job, man. You know, it's an expensive car. The guy's got a lot of money tied up into this. You don't throw parts like this. Yes, they are cheaper parts, and yes, this is a budget build, but it's still a nice car and it's still a nice setup. It's still a budget setup, but not this. This is kind of crazy to me. You still got to tighten everything up, but I just wanted to show you guys. With the 19s, it clears real good. They say with 18s, depending on the specific rim, they don't recommend using it. But they just dropped the truck off. The bed is drying right now. Still got some wet spots, but he told me, he was honest with me, but he said, just careful. He said, I fixed the two little spots that were under your bed. I cut the metal out and welded some new metal in. Fixed it for you, and I got the new rear bumper coming the 23rd, 24th, they said. Now, I don't want you guys for 1 second to think that I'm trashing this company for what they do, because they do make good performance, economical parts. But when you get something like this, it's a little ridiculous to have to deal with something like this, where you've got this product that there's a worker that worked for this facility where it's that bad. Like, somebody obviously just flat out did not care about their job when they were doing this. But, or maybe I'm looking at this wrong, but I just know it's a concern when it shows up and I gotta wait for parts. Luckily they're in the next town over and they get it to me the next day. But I felt like I should share this with you guys. So if you guys order any of this type of stuff, this big brake kit, whatever it is, you guys can watch out for this type of stuff too. Y'all be blessed. Take care.